In your dreams, you must be ready. Don't be a bitch for old mean Freddy. When you sleep, you might get killed, so stay awake with Hypnosil.
Side effects might include headaches, upset stomach, insomnia, heart attack, occasional muscle aches, stroke, reduced hunger, diabetes, light sensitivity, stabbing by Jason, sexual terror by Freddy, dry mouth, anal leakage, stabbing pain, erectile dysfunction, and pink eye.
Welcome to Stabby Stabby, bitch.
Should we mention what movie we watched? This week we watched Freddy vs. Jason from 2003.
It's sellout October, bitches.
Stabby Stabby.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Stabby Stabby, the podcast that likes to pit together two main villains from horror franchises and smash them together and see if they ever kiss.
It's all we're known for.
Yeah, this is week 4 of Sellout October, and hey, I'm Greg. I'm one of your hosts, and today I'm drinking a Rebel Hill Brewing Last Known Surroundings double IPA with Citra and a Galaxy, and it's like orange juice, you know? It's delicious.
It does sound good.
Yeah, you could probably put some like I don't know what goes in a what's a drink with the orange juice? Screwdriver? What's it?
Vodka? A mimosa?
Yeah, we'll put vodka and champagne in it and see how it goes. Dan, how are you doing?
Hey, it's me, Dan. I'm doing very well. Today I'm drinking a Root Down Brewing Company's Bine. It's a very, very good IPA that I enjoy a lot, so I'm enjoying it. I don't even know what's in it.
Gold medal winner.
Yeah, it is. Was it 2018 best IPA in the country? And they make it right around the corner from me. Yeah, very, very
That's good on draft. That's a goodie.
Yeah, it's very tasty. Hey, is that an Eric?
That's me.
You're Eric. Hey.
Yeah, sir. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm one of your other butthole surfers. Drinking
Cowabunga.
Heady Topper today from The Alchemists.
Nice.
Yeah, 8%er. And I'm ready to talk about Freddy vs. Jason.
Let's do it.
Who picked this movie? How did we end up in the... I've never seen Freddy vs. Jason. This was an inaugural viewing for me. Who do I have to blame for this?
Dan, I am happy to take your Freddy vs. Jason cherry. And I brought this movie. I figured it's out October. We can do an Elm Street movie and a Friday the 13th movie. Just mash it into one with some new metal and just see where it goes.
Boy, howdy, is there new metal.
Yep.
I didn't know that you served Limp Biscuits covered in blood, but I guess that's the way it's done. I'm not complaining, you know.
So good.
I will say I have my ups and downs with this movie, but one thing I did not dislike was the new metal. It was fun. I liked it. That is something that is not aged well in the best possible way. It's wonderful.
Oh
yeah, my liver. It's all downhill.
Greg, do you remember when you first saw Freddy vs. Jason? Like, do you have a...
chances are it would have been when it came out on, like, VHS or DVD. I'm not really sure what format would have been around this time.
So this came out 2003, so you're talking like 2005, 2004?
It's probably DVD, right?
Yeah.
Man, I was in college?
Yeah. And 9/11 was still a fresh memory.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The good old days.
I know.
when 9/11 just happened.
Just happened. But, you know, rather than talk about that national tragedy, we should talk about the two towers in this movie, Freddy and Jason. Huh?
Yeah.
I just segued from 9/11 to Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, it works. No, I don't remember when I saw this first. I probably didn't really jump into it until I just started binging through the whole franchise. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw a Freddy or Jason movie in the theater.
Another vine.
I did see Halloween H2O in the theater. I remember that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well. How about you? You're old enough that you would have been about 40 when this came out.
Get out of here. I don't know. I don't really remember. I think I must have saw it like home video too. I definitely didn't see it in a theater that I remember. I'm looking at the Blu-ray right now, the description on the back. I won't read the whole thing, but this part, I thought it was funny. It says, the slicer versus the slasher, with a question mark.
Wait, it's a question?
I should have read that as a question. And then it says, two titans of terror going mano a machete. Oh, that's also a question.
Wait, what? That's a question?
two titans of terror going mano a machete, and then it says they're going to kill each other a lot, which I thought was great. Anyway,
That wasn't a question.
No, that was
that one's a statement of fact.
Yeah, that's an exclamation point. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Interesting.
But yeah, the description's pretty great.
That's some fun ad copy. Whoever wrote that was probably doing a lot of cocaine and very pleased with themselves.
The slicer versus the slasher?
Yeah, they called their mom and was like, "Look, listen to this, mono a machete. Can you believe it?" And then she was like, "Put a question mark at the end of that one."
All right, well, it doesn't make any sense, but I'll always listen to my mom.
Oh, you guys want to put a glove of knives on and claw our way into this plot?
Let's do it.
Bitch.
Now let's get to the plot.
So, 2003's Freddy vs. Jason, directed by Ronny Yu, kicks off the movie with some Freddy background.
Ronny, me? Am I Ronny?
Yes, yes, you're Ronny, Dan.
Oh, no.
Danny Yu. No, we kind of get a background on the whole Elm Street franchise in about a couple minutes.
My reign of terror was legendary. Dozens of children would fall by my blades. Then the parents of Springwood came for me. Taking justice into their own hands. When I was alive, I might have been a little naughty, but after they killed me, I became something much, much worse. The stuff nightmares are made of.
Yeah, we see that Freddy killed little children, and the town folk all came together to basically have vigilante justice and killed him by burning the building he was in, and he died in flames, which is why he's all burned up.
So handsome.
Well,
some
of us would disagree.
Why aren't there more movies about killers killing little children?
I think because it's the worst possible thing.
Yeah, but that's why I would expect it to be way more common. Like, that was something, it's been a while since I saw, actually, probably the last Freddy movie I saw was for this podcast. So what was that? That was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Yeah. And even then I was kind of struck with that question of, like, why don't more movies do the kid killing thing? It is shocking and it's terrifying, and that would make it a good, I don't know, there's a there. More people should do that. Guys, kill more kids on camera. It's always exciting.
It's kind of like saying, like, well, why don't they kill more dogs in movies? Like, killing animals, like dogs and cats especially, is worse than killing kids.
I will have none of that.
Why don't we just have we should just have a movie where it's just called, like, Dog Killer with a question mark? Because we're just throwing them in wherever.
Mono a Poochie? No, that doesn't work as well. Damn, it's hard to write good ad copy.
I've definitely seen more kids die on screen than animals. Because I think you're right. It upsets people more. Remember that kid in the alligator that was on like the diving board? And he jumped in and just got eaten by alligator. I just remember watching just being like, bah! It was like the funniest thing. But if that was a dog, we'd have a problem.
I think my favorite kid kill in a movie is in The Blob, like the '88 remake, where they're like climbing out of the sewer and the Blob kills like the one, like he's like 8 years old.
Wow.
And it's great.
It's great.
Yeah. When kids die, it gives kind of some credence to the killer. Like they're pure evil.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily just a serial killer.
Yeah.
They are a monster when you start killing kids.
I'm just surprised we don't see more of it. That's all. Because we're even then, what was that one movie we saw at one of your movie marathons? It was
Who Can Kill a Child?
Yes, thank you for crawling into my brain. Yeah.
Yep,
Or flip the script and force the hero to kill them because the children are trying to kill them. That's great.
That scene where there's like a boatload of kids standing in front of a guy with a machine gun and he just lays them all out was phenomenal.
And it was earned by then. It was so earned. We were cheering.
Yeah, I remember the whole room just erupting and like applause. Like, yeah! Killed the children.
It's a movie that starts as a question and ends with a yes. Yes, we can.
Yeah, it's just like that ad copy. You can kill a child?
Even you could kill a child. All right. Anyway, so we got the opening. It's just a montage of the best parts of the Freddy franchise.
Yeah, it's not even I think it's all new footage, but we also learned that he gets his power from the children of Springwood fearing him. We see him kill a little girl and get killed by the town folks, like I said. But over time, Freddy died in Freddy's Dead, the movie, when he went to hell.
Sorry, Greg. We see Robert Englund like without the makeup.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, he's like sharpening his blades. Kind of cool.
Yeah, and so when he died and went to hell, the kids forgot about him. Like, the whole town stopped talking about him, and he lost his power. So he finds Jason Voorhees in hell, because Jason, I guess this would have been after Friday the 13th, like the 9th movie. Jason goes to hell, but before Jason X. So Jason's in hell, and Freddy kind of convinces Jason to go back to Earth and kill kids on Elm Street to kind of put the fear back into them, and basically he's going to take credit for the kills. We learned that in a scene coming up.
Oh yeah, so it's basically like what was there? 8 Elm Streets and 11 Friday the 13th prior to them getting back together.
Jason Goes to Hell was 9, and then Freddy's Dead was 6, right?
No.
So 15 movies.
Still, that's a lot of celluloid.
It's a lot of movies either way.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if X came out before this or not. I don't feel like looking it up.
Yeah, I thought it was X and then Goes to Hell. I don't know. I might be wrong.
X is 10. Goes to Hell is after Manhattan.
Okay.
Right?
This is ridiculous to hear in the abstract. All right, so he was in New York, and then he was in space, and then he went to, like, this. You could be describing the Muppet franchise. I would watch the shit out of the Muppets Go to Hell.
Ooh,
that would be amazing.
Yes,
seriously.
And somehow, like, Animal is the devil. He's been the devil all along.
No, I feel like Michael Caine would have to play Lucifer proper. Animal could be like the chief demon or something like that. And he drums on like the stretched skin of tortured Muppets.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe Disney Plus will release it this year. They did like the Haunted Mansion last year. Maybe they'll do it right.
Yeah, Muppets
dude, they're gonna get to
hell.
that point.
That sounds amazing,
doesn't it? They have to like the structure's built right into the concept. They have to go down all the different layers of hell in order to talk to Animal or Michael Caine, or maybe Animal and Michael Caine are like a 2-headed, Hydra kind of a thing.
Are you thinking Michael Caine just because he was in Muppets Christmas Carol?
Yes. Okay. Is there a problem with that?
No. I just want to make sure.
We're just murdering all their guest stars.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Oh man, they could run into dead celebrities. CGI reincarnations of dead celebrities.
Dude, that's good. Like people that were on the Muppet Show that are dead now. Like John Denver could come on and he could just be like a zombie.
John Denver. That's perfect.
Playing Country Roads. His arm falls off in the middle of it.
Kermit the Frog could like paddle his way through the lake Styx while singing. What was that song he sang when he was in the swamp?
It's a river Styx, Dan. It's not a lake.
Rainbow Bridge or whatever. The river Styx. I'm so sorry.
Rainbow
I've never
Connection.
been to hell.
Rainbow Connection.
Well, that's it. He rewrites it to be the Rainbow Bridge, where your dog goes.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? We could incorporate our earlier comments and say, like, they have to get to hell in order to get one of their friends, and they all have to brainstorm what's the fastest way to get to hell, and they land on killing a bunch of kids.
They lure them in.
Yeah.
Be on the Muppet Show. They just burn them all alive.
Who's the big brown, like, hairy Muppet? He just eats them. He eats the evidence.
Oh yeah, the big giant guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Flop'ems.
Yeah, it's close to that. Something ums.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Grub'ems.
You are Jim Henson, I think. You have the gift.
I got my hand up a dead person's butt right now, so use it as a puppet.
Big,
call me
hairy...
Jim Handsome.
What movie are we talking about?
We're talking about Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, it's
hopping back in.
It's Sweetums.
Sweetums, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so close.
Man, this is a great screenplay. We should write this.
Yeah, let's do this after the recording and to get back into the movie.
Right.
So, yeah, now we get a Jason dream sequence where he hunts a naked girl at Crystal Lake, so thumbs up.
Boobs.
Yep. Yeah,
I like that Freddy's introduction is all these like the greatest moments of his kills, and they were spectacular to see every time. It was so creative. And then Jason's big moment is tits, and it's great.
Yeah, we got a butt
like,
too.
yeah,
We got a butt.
That's about right.
Yeah,
There's a lot of Elm Street 3 in the footage too.
that's the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is the best.
Sorry, Greg. One day we'll let you get through this.
That's fine. We're literally 2 minutes into this movie. So Jason hunts a naked girl at Crystal Lake. He then sees, like, as he's killed her against a tree, he sees his mother, who tells him,
My special, special boy. Do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die. You've just been sleeping, honey. But now, the time has come to wake up. Mommy has something she wants you to do. I need you to go to Elm Street. The children have been very bad on Elm Street. Rise up, Jason! Your work isn't finished! Hear my voice and live again!
So Jason wakes up from his grave and he rises. And we see that his mother, I would have never suspected, it's Freddy in disguise.
What?
So apparently when you're dead, you're still dreaming, and Freddy can get in there. So that
makes
sucks.
So
You
he
could
just,
never
like,
get away.
Jump starts his heart with his mom love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ew.
If you love your mom, you'll never die.
There you go.
I think it's the moral of
Checks
the
out.
story.
That means if you die and stay in the ground, you never loved your mother, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
It's just as plausible as the lightning bolt to the heart jump starting him.
That's true. Yeah, from 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so fun. You know, this is another great that effect shot of his lungs like reinflating with his beating heart between them.
Yeah.
That was rad.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and I do like that this is like straight up zombie Jason because he like digs himself out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Love a dirty Jason. Ooh, he's a dirty boy.
You need a shower.
Stinkier, the dirtier, the better.
Ooh, the hotter.
I was gonna save this for later, but I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I have a problem with there's like Demon Freddy and then Freddy. Have you guys noticed this in this movie? So in the beginning, when he's like doing his monologue, he's got like sharp, pointy teeth,
Yeah.
and he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
like weird irises with like fucking weird like shit in his eyes, and his ears are pointy, and his makeup's there. He's like a devil. He's like Demon Freddy, and then he's regular Freddy with like his squared off teeth later on. But then he goes back to like Demon Freddy at the end when he jumps out of the water. It's very inconsistent with his makeup, and it was bothering the shit out of me, especially his teeth going from pointed to square back and forth. So it's probably me just being anal about it, but I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, is there going to be some like specific transition to like Demon Freddy? Like he's in hell and he like, I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for it and I'm just not picking up on it, but the inconsistency bothered the shit out of me. So just wanted to bring that up.
I never noticed. So if there was supposed to be some reason for it, I feel like I would have noticed. Sounds like maybe they just didn't want to do his makeup some days.
Yeah, well, I think it was like 4 hours in the chair, so he might have been like, you know what, just fucking do the quick version. I don't know.
And why didn't nobody's gonna be looking at his teeth in 4K? That technology won't exist for a million years.
All right, so now we're gonna move into a bunch of people parts, but humans, which is less
Boo.
fun. So we cut
Boring.
to the well, get out of here, hot girls. no one wants you here. We got 2 big boys to fight. So we cut to the title with some gnarly new metal, and we're quickly introduced to Lori, Gib, and Kia at Lori's house. Gib's boyfriend shows up with his friend, and we see Jason lurking outside. Gib is played by the girl from Ginger Snaps.
Catherine
Kia
Isabel.
is from Destiny's Child.
Kelly Rowland.
And Lori, I believe she was in like Undeclared,
Monica
the
Keena.
TV show.
Oh, yeah. I like Undeclared. It's a good show.
Yeah. We see Jason lurking outside the house. We also learn that Lori has an ex-boyfriend named Will that we'll meet later. Eventually, Gib and her boyfriend go upstairs to bang. And
As you do.
after they're done, she goes to take a shower, and Jason somehow comes in and I'm going to use this term for Jason's kills a lot. He destroys the boyfriend. He stabs him many, many times through the back with a machete, and then folds the bed up, and and we have like a V-shaped boyfriend at this point.
You can fit in her purse now.
The folding in half is great. It's completely unnecessary. It's like he's cleaning up. He's like, whoop, just fold him in half.
Didn't that happen to the sheriff in Jason Lives? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he bent him in half in like a suitcase, like a suitcase. It's great.
That's his move.
All right. So
the dude was a total asshole too.
Oh,
Yes.
100%.
Really shitty to the girlfriend. Yeah.
I was gonna say I love how hard they played up what a dick he was. Yeah.
After they get done having sex, he's like, you know how I don't like to be touched. He's like telling her she stinks and has to take a shower and everything. It's really rude. Yeah.
Yeah, if I met him at the grocery store, I'd probably punch him in the mouth. So I don't know how anybody could have like a long-term relationship with him. Pretty surprising. He got what was coming to him, which is folded in a bed.
He's basically walking new metal. If that was like a persona, that's him.
If he's in that hit new metal band, Take a Shower.
Take a shower and don't touch me.
Yeah, that's their single. Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. You stink. The boobs in the shower.
Not her.
Didn't seem to be connected to her body. It seemed to be different.
Was that a stunt body?
100%. Yeah. Apparently, the director tried to coerce her into doing a nude scene, and it was in her contract that she was not going to do a nude scene. So they did get a stunt double because she stood her ground, and good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Nice.
All right. So now the cops come, and because the kill was at 1428 Elm Street, the house that was in the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, they think Freddy could be back. Laurie hears the cops mention Freddy's name. At the police station, she has a dream because she's been waiting in the interrogation room, and she falls asleep, and she sees the little girl from the beginning of the movie who tells her about Freddy and that he's coming back, baby. And Freddy quickly pops into screen, and she wakes up in fear.
I do love the mechanic of the killer of a movie relying on living in people's heads. That's fun. That was a neat hook, and the movie didn't really pay off as much as I wanted it to on that level. As long as people are thinking about the killer becomes more powerful. That's awesome.
And two of the characters later kind of talk about Freddy as a plague.
Yeah.
That, as you start mentioning him, other people hear and remember, and it kind of just keeps, snowballing from there.
I mean, that's kind of that's how a lot of nasty tropes and racist ideas and that shit does happen in real life. What the nasty memes and shit like that does spread like wildfire. It's a cool concept. I just wish they did more with it in this movie. It was there to ratchet up tension, but I feel like it didn't really. It wasn't as important as I would have hoped it was. Also, it's a little silly that Freddy's so grumpy he's not trending on Twitter anymore. That's also just kind of cute and endearing.
Well, this was
they don't remember me.
This was pre. So this was pre social media and all that stuff, which is kind of nice. Yeah. I like that. I feel
it's before the world went to hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Back when everybody was happy and dream demons could just kill you in your sleep.
There was back in the day. If you think about it, it's kind of weird, right? So Freddy was a child murderer, and he molested the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's implied, and then burned them in a furnace, right? And then 3 years after Elm Street comes out, you can make a phone call, and for little kids can listen to Freddy, leave him a message, a weekly message.
Yeah, it's
really
insane.
Oh yeah. You could call beep boop boop boop, and then you could listen to Freddy's message of the week. There's dolls of them. There's freaking video games. There's he just became such a household goofball, but he's rooted in this child molestation and murder.
Yeah,
it's just weird to think about, right?
It kind of makes sense. It kind of because effective jokes and effective horror are both the same in that they are giving people a language to use to talk about things that otherwise they can't.
Well,
so, yeah, Sorry, what was that, Greg?
No, it's this whole time period, like where with Freddy and Jason and all this, like back in the 80s and 90s. That shit was buck wild. Like, there was a Rambo cartoon. Like, Rambo's whole thing is that he just kills people. It's
kind of
insane.
wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Now what do we have now? Like Paw Patrol, like a police dog. That's awful.
Like my niece is 12 and she wants to watch like Nightmare on Elm Street, and my brother's like, you're not old enough, and it's just like, I think she
12,
is.
you're old enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a rap album.
We baby people too much.
Freddy's rap album.
That's right.
Fat Boys did the Freddy song.
He had a TV show. Like
yeah.
He had a movie that Freddy got fingered. You guys ever seen that one?
Yeah, it was his porno.
Yeah.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
What?
Freddy got fingered.
No, I know Freddy got fingered. It was a good movie.
That's a masterpiece.
All right, moving on. We have a quick scene with the dead boyfriend's friend. I don't know their names because it doesn't matter. He's at home with his dad. He's at home with his shitty dad. Long story short.
Oh, yeah, that shit dad that's like, your friend got killed today. You should clean your room or whatever.
Quit being a little bitch about it.
He was such a jerk.
What the hell were you doing over there? You were supposed to be watching your sister. Were you drinking?
My best friend was just killed, Dad. So how about giving me some fucking space?
You watch yourself, boy.
Again, what's the fastest way we can make this person unlikable so that we can enjoy watching him die?
Yeah. So long story short, his friend has a quick dream of Freddy, and we see that Freddy's not strong enough to kill him in his dream yet. But he wakes up, and both him and his dad are, again, destroyed by Jason. I think the dad has his head cut off. We don't see exactly how the guy dies, but Jason hits him with his machete, and just blood pours against the wall.
Yeah, well, the best part about the dad is the son's like, the dad just kind of sitting there like straight face, and he's like, Dad, he asks him a question, and then the dad doesn't respond, and he shakes his shoulder like to wake him up, and his head slides off, like because it's been cut in half, and then it's just like, it's just squirting blood. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
This is an automatic 10 for Dan. It's got a decapitation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this sequence was when the kid picks up his dad's head, and then when he goes, he sees the blade coming at him, he lifts his dad's head up to use it as like a shield.
Yep. Yeah, he protects himself with his dad's head. It's awesome.
Yeah. I just wish that the slash was on camera. The splash of blood on the window was lame.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Why was there a goat in the dream sequence? I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Good question.
I guess it was to indicate that he was dreaming. It was just like a goat in front of his house.
Yeah, because there's no goats in real life.
They're a mythical animal.
I think it was a magical goat.
Yeah.
Freddy tried to kill him with like a shadow Freddy.
Yeah,
and
it
he's
looked
like,
cool.
I'm not strong enough yet. And he talks to the camera. He telling us.
Yeah.
It's great.
You better stick around for another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The reason just in case you didn't understand, the reason I didn't kill him is because I'm not strong enough yet.
Oh my god, they do repeat the plot in this movie like 40 times. I guess they know that it's all like 15-year-olds making out in the auditorium, so they gotta keep them abreast. While they're keeping them abreast, if you get what I'm saying.
Popcorn trick.
Speaking of breast, we move to Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital, where we meet Will and Mark, who are given Hypnosil, which we know about from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3.
Yeah.
Will sees a story about the murders on a TV, and he wants to help Lori because that's his ex-girlfriend. So Will and Mark break out of the hospital that night. The next morning, Lori's dad tries to slip Lori some Hypnosil because I guess he's a doctor. But she doesn't want to drink the juice. She just wants to go to school because, as we learned in Neon Maniacs, after your friends are killed, you just want to go right to school.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
We see her dad have a discussion with a poppin' cop.
Oh, yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, he's just in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dad,
the dad-
you sent a little video of that to us.
The cop comes out of nowhere, and both doors to the house are in frame of that shot, and neither of them opens or closes. So I think they have like a closet cop. They must pay like a lot of money to have private security just roaming around their house.
Hey, I don't blame him.
But
yeah,
the first of many cops who just walk into rooms.
Yeah, they're cops. They can do whatever they want. They didn't
God
have their
damn
little.
it. I guess you're
they
right.
didn't have their little cameras on their vests yet, so they could just wander in and out.
willy-nilly. Hey, I noticed your door was locked, so that was a bitch to break. You're gonna have to owe me some money.
Anybody think that's Stubbs? That one cop Stubbs, like the young guy?
yeah, he's like the deputy or whatever.
Yeah, I thought he looked like Gary Busey. Like
Yes!
like a son.
He
or
100%
something.
does. He's been in 100,000 things.
Okay.
I can't name a single one.
I didn't look him up, but he's got his teeth for sure and his eyes. Like he looks like
Monroe.
Yeah, his whole thing. Dude, I thought I looked him up because I thought, is this like a de-aged Gary Busey? How does this make sense?
Yeah, I mean, he could play him for sure. I don't know what he looks like now, but
He's got 11 movies or TV shows in like post-production
now
coming out in like from now till 2023.
Dude,
wow,
good for him. Nice.
He's got a face for the camera.
No, he's you've seen him before. He's in a lot, or maybe I just watch garbage movies. I don't know.
No, I probably have. I just thought he looked like Gary Busey.
He does very much look like Gary Busey, and we know how much you love Gary Busey.
Well, let's not say that.
No, not anymore.
Especially after was it MonsterCon?
Yeah, Monster Mania.
You,
Yeah,
like,
Monster
somebody.
Mania. Yeah. We were gonna advertise there, wasn't that MonsterCon?
Yeah. You know, but now we should have, because we would have gotten a lot more like ad play.
Yeah,
because there's controversy.
The podcast sponsored by Gary Busey.
It's probably good we didn't go. We would have given him like a free T-shirt, and then he would have been wearing a Stabby T-shirt while he got arrested, and it would have been a whole freaking thing.
Well, they say that no, what is it? No.
That's it. Just
no.
No business is bad
Nope.
business. What is
No
it?
bad press.
Yeah. Oh,
No
boy.
business is good business.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, what?
God, I'm the king of business.
Yeah, so the dad and the sheriff talk about containing this whole Freddy situation because they know about Freddy still. At school, we see Lori and her friends. They discuss Blake, who's the dead boyfriend's friend who got killed. He's dead too. We also meet Linderman, who is not Miles Teller, but he very much looks like him. He has a crush on Lori. Also, we meet not Jay and Silent Bob, who are passing out flyers to a cornfield kegger that night.
Yeah. Dude, I want to go to a cornfield. That thing looked awesome. That looked like such a fun party.
Yeah, it looked like a cool-ass party.
Oh, my God. I know I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but
Eric,
I want a corn party.
Eric, you would know. Where does A Nightmare on Elm Street take place?
It's in Springwood. I don't know.
Is it Illinois?
I think so, right? I don't know.
Ohio. It's Ohio.
It's Ohio?
A lot of corn
Okay.
there.
Yeah, but
that
actually,
makes
yeah,
sense.
because they drive the Crystal Lake.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, there's
when we get there.
Yeah, I think there's an issue.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that there were cornfields, and I assume there are cornfields in Ohio.
Oh.
There's probably cornfields in just about every state.
Yeah, but
Except
like,
for,
big enough that you can have a kegger, like a rave.
I don't know much about cornfields, but I'm pretty sure on standard they're probably big enough to house a couple of trucks. At least I don't know anybody that has like a 10-foot cornfield.
I just got one corn plant. It's growing out of a pot.
Yeah. I have a corn yard.
All right, so Lori starts telling her friends about Freddy that she saw in her dreams, and a bunch of other kids now overhear her. Mark, who had just escaped from the psychiatric hospital, he shows up and basically just scares the crap out of Lori and everybody else there with grisly details about Freddy's history.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. You know why they sing that? Because that's when he comes for you. In your dreams. You're lucky to be alive.
Who is he?
He's a child murderer that some parents from around here burned alive. Then he came back. Back for revenge in our nightmares. Funny no one ever told us.
Okay,
about,
thank
huh?
you. No.
You want some free advice? Coffee. Make friends with it. Mark! That's enough.
But Will shows up, stops him from talking, and Lori passes out when she sees Will because, ooh, that's her first love.
Well, baby.
Kia and Gib are now waiting for her to wake up in like the nurse's office, and Kia has a Freddy nightmare where she gets her nose ripped off because she wants to have a nose
job.
Yeah, rhinoplasty.
Yeah, fun little gag. Only because his one-liner was "got your nose," cuts her nose off.
Yeah, and
fun.
It was the worst CGI.
Yeah,
so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Effects are disappointing. Yeah.
It almost overshadowed the great one-liner with how bad the CGI was. Almost. It was still a good one-liner.
Yeah.
I like that she just has a plastic surgery magazine. Like, that's her.
Yeah. Well, in like the high school like nurse's office.
Yeah.
It's really good for children's self-image. 2003 was a hard time to be a teenage girl. And honestly, that was some of the nastiest stuff was when she was flipping through that magazine. They showed like real photos of people mid plastic surgery. Ugh,
yeah.
That shit's grisly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Brody like flipping through the shark books, and there's like guys that have gotten eaten, and he's like, oof, like it offends him.
Yeah, it would offend me too.
Sorry, I had to bring a Jaws reference.
Yeah, well,
we got our one in.
It's a stretch, but I got it in there.
So now Will and Mark are at the library trying to research Freddy, but all the information is missing. They figure out basically that fearing Freddy is like a plague, and they need to try to not tell everybody about Freddy like they literally had just done at the school.
They never told us about Freddy because that's how they decided to beat him. They treated him like he was a fucking disease, and they locked up all the kids who made contact with him so they wouldn't infect the others. That's crazy. Is it?
It was at this point that I was like, I had a pair of scissors and I was just cutting little gashes in my hand just so I could feel anything, because all of these human people are boring. All these characters are boring, and I did not care about any of them.
Dude, I was the same. I was like, please, somebody just... when are they going to start fighting each other? Like, kill all these fuckers and start fighting.
Seriously.
Well, we're now moving to the cornfield kegger.
Yeah!
All of our main characters are there, and I'll just kind of go through this real quick. So Gib ends up going off by herself. She's very drunk. It's kind of set up that she is, a drunk earlier in the movie. So she passes out. In her dream, Freddy attacks her. We get kind of a callback to Elm Street 1 with his face kind of pushing through the wall. Before Freddy can kill her, though, Jason ends up killing her in the real world. He stabs her through the back of a guy that was going to take advantage of a passed out woman. Don't do that.
Yeah, a little Brock Turner move. Well, he got what was coming to him. He got stabbed through the back, and then he like flipped the blade and sent him soaring like 100 feet in the air.
Yeah. He just like launched him.
Yeah.
I also liked he had like douchebag like glow in the dark sticks all over him and like giant baggy rave pants and yeah.
They keep calling this thing a rave. It's not a rave.
No,
it is not a rave. Yeah,
it's a fun kegger.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And I would watch that guy die a billion times. It was good. It was kind of nasty to include that little moment in what otherwise is like a silly gore movie. But again, 2003, times have changed a bit. I don't think they would do that anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, dude. I was like, is this necessary? Like, she could just be passed out on the ground,
No, they have to have the whole sexual assault experience for you to save her, I guess.
Jason is known for killing promiscuous teens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So if she was just passed out, he doesn't kill you because you drink.
That's true.
But he didn't know she was passed out.
Yeah, you got to be getting down and dirty for him to kill you. Most of
And again, it goes along with they have to make you hate these characters before they die.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, they gave a little like cha 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 in the corn stalks before he came up and killed his ass. It was pretty cool.
Love it.
Pretty cool.
So Jason kills them. Freddy's not happy. He needed that kill. So Jason, he kind of continues on into the party. He meets up with Not Silent Bob and another dude who he kills the other dude by twisting his neck. Not Silent Bob runs off. He lights Jason on fire.
Yes!
As well. So now we have a flaming Jason.
Flaming Jason's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Flaming Jason.
So Not Silent Bob runs off into the party. As he gets through the corn, Jason throws a flaming machete at him, stabs him in the back, and kills him. And he comes walking out of the cornfield into the party where everybody just like freaks out. Jason starts killing a bunch of people. He
While on
basically
fire.
ruins the party. Yeah.
yeah. He's a buzzkill. There's a real party foul when you cut people in half.
It's pretty awesome. When he's on fire, there's like a quick overhead shot of him walking through the cornfield, and he's just leaving a trail of fire through the corn. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
It's
Dude,
great.
there are 2 shots in this movie that like dropped my jaw. It was that one, and then towards the end when he's jumping out of the water.
Yes.
Those 2 shots were like,
yeah, that's a
fuck,
great shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool.
But yeah, so Jason kind of tears up the party. Our main characters, Will, Lori, Kia, Linderman, and Not Jay, they escape. Not Jay's name is, I think, Freeberg.
Sure. Why not?
Bill Freeberg? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call him Not Jay just because it's easier. But now they know that it's not Freddy doing the kills. It's this big lumbering hockey mask wearing monster who we know as Jason.
I like the stone. I think it was a stoner guy. He was like,
dude, that goalie was pissed about something.
Yeah.
It's great.
So now Will admits to Lori. So they drop everybody off at their house, and Will and Lori are going to her house. He admits to Lori that he saw her dad kill her mom, and that's why Will got sent away to the psychiatric hospital. This is all backstory that we don't know about.
I hated that scene.
Yeah, you didn't need any of this.
No, Dad, did you kill Mom? Like on the steps. It's like, this is not believable. It was horrible.
It was bad.
But they get confronted by her dad. Lori runs away into the house and then out the window, and she meets up with Will. I don't care about her dad.
I know we kind of blew past it, but the response to the teenagers leaving the death rave, they decide that they don't trust the police, so they can't go to the police. So they just proceed home and they drop everybody off at their houses.
Yeah.
After having seen like 40 of their peers get sliced in half by a burning demon hockey mask wearing killer.
Time to go home.
I think one of them even says to somebody while they're dropping them off, like, "Stay safe." Like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Now
get over death really easily.
Seriously.
They can now be murdered in their dreams and while awake. There's nowhere to go.
You are just not safe. So don't say that.
Man, I wish this world was real. So now we have a quick little scene of Mark having a nightmare about his brother, who apparently was previously killed by Freddy. I don't think any of these people were in a previous movie, right? Like, or not like in these franchises.
I mean, if they were, I probably wouldn't like them in those movies either.
That's true. But yeah, so Freddy is kind of acting as his brother and tells him that he used Jason to get people to remember him. So he kind of lays out his plan to Mark. He wants Mark to send a message for him, and Mark's just like, I'm not doing that. So Mark is killed, and Freddy burns a message into his skin that says, Freddy's back.
Yeah.
And he burns it onto his back.
Yeah.
It's still a pun. It's a pun.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny.
Yeah.
Pun's a pun.
It was pretty
cool. Freddy's great. Aside from Pinhead, Freddy's my favorite.
Do you like Pinhead more than Freddy?
Hell yeah.
Yeah? Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
for one thing, the sexual element is very consensual in Hellraiser, right? Because it's usually people that are looking to tangle.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
So
Freddy's hot.
Dan's murders, it's
Oh, I'm sorry,
gotta be
Pinhead's hot.
consensual.
Yeah. Can I kill you, please? Thank you. Snap, 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 snap.
I think so you're Pinhead man. I think Eric's a Freddy boy.
Yeah, I'm a Freddy
right?
boy.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm a Jason boy.
Nobody likes Michael.
He's too boring.
Yeah,
like his movies are fine, but he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he just kind of creeps behind the bushes.
I agree with you. If I had to choose between the major 3 slashers, Freddy, Jason, Michael, I would probably do Freddy. I would join Eric in that.
Yeah.
Why do you like Jason?
I just think he's brutal, and he doesn't. There's no end game for him. Like, it's just about killing and like loving his mom. And...
Do you think it'll?
it's the mom relationship.
Yeah,
I like.
It's really.
If you're
sweet.
mama's boy, you're a Jason.
I mean,
boy. You're a daddy's boy.
His sleeping bag kills are fantastic. Like when he just picks up somebody in a sleeping bag and like hits him against a tree. Or the one movie he just like picks up a sleeping bag and hits someone else in a sleeping bag to kill them. Like, whenever it's just him throwing around sleeping bags, it's fantastic. And you're always guaranteed good boobs in Jason movie. Like I get it.
That's true.
Yeah,
totally true.
except for Jason Lives, where there are 0 boobs.
Yeah, the worst one.
Yeah, it's the best one, which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's interesting. I wouldn't. You always surprise me, Dan. Liking being a pinhead.
Yeah, that's good.
Boy.
Yeah.
I like the Cenobites. Cenobites are great.
I like the Cenobites. Don't get me wrong. Butterball's my favorite. I'm a Butterball boy.
Would you switch to Hellraiser if you counted all the Cenobites?
Cenobites?
If you counted all the Cenobites as like one community versus Jason versus Freddy versus Michael, you wouldn't pick Cenobites?
No, I'd still go Jason.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. That's good. That's a good first date question.
I like that we all
Michael, Jason,
we all had 3 different ones.
Freddy.
Oh, apparently, so when I was researching a little bit, at the end of one of the scripts, there was like 1 million fucking scripts on this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a ton. Apparently, he spent a lot of money on it too. But one of the endings, they were proposing that Pinhead would come in at the end.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I mean,
that would have been a perfect movie
rad.
for us.
Yeah.
Which would have been Boner Town.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, if Pinhead subjected Freddy and Jason to
pleasure and pain?
Yeah. Like, how Jason can take a lot, obviously. He'd have to have his, like, balls bit off by, like a rat.
I mean, that's how Jason would probably win in that fight. As they would just kill themselves trying to torture him. And he would just be like chuckling.
They'd finally get him talking and he'd be like, "More, daddy."
Freddy'd just be cracking jokes the whole time.
Yeah, it's the one spoken line of dialogue that Jason ever gets would be like, Pinhead says, "Come to daddy," and then he just says, "No, I only come for mommy."
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
God, that movie sounds amazing.
Yeah, one of the scripts they had, like, it was like a revolved around a cult called Fredheads that like worshipped Freddy. The scriptwriter for Deep Star 6 wrote a version. The guy who wrote Demon Knight, Rob Bottin, the effects guy from The Thing, who's amazing, was going to write and direct. And then David S. Goyer, who wrote the Blade trilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy, wrote his own version. And then he finally came in and cleaned up what ended up being the final version that we see, which was written by 2 other guys. He like cleaned up their massive script and made it a little more coherent.
Man, all that sounds more interesting than like police procedural with Freddy and Jason.
Well, wasn't there one where it was like a court, like Jason's on trial?
Was there? Oh, that sounds
I think
awesome.
So. I don't know if that was like
rad.
a Jason sequel or if it was for this, but I believe there was one where Jason's arrested.
Oh, that would have been great.
Could Saul Goodman please be his lawyer? That would be incredible.
Oh, that would have made listen, the finale of Better Call Saul was great, but it should have ended with him. Yeah.
Who's my next client?
Yeah. Jason walks in.
Sir, it looks like your next case will be Voorhees versus State.
Bum, bum,
yeah,
bum.
that's perfect.
Yeah, there was a Freddy versus Jason versus the Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
And then after this movie, they were going to do a sequel with an Evil Dead crossover that was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. And then they couldn't agree on the studios, and I guess Sam Raimi was involved and wanted Ash to win. And I don't know, there was a bunch of shit that went on, but it became a comic book, which I've never read, but I'm interested in it. I'd like to
I'm
read the
interested.
comic.
I never read it either.
Yeah.
Lots of cool things could have happened, and it didn't.
Yeah.
When will copyright laws get out of the way of good art?
Just give me these good movies.
Yeah, could the Charmin Bears fight against them? We have Jason versus Freddy versus the Charmin Bears. They came to clean up this mess. It'd be like a gritty remake with the Charmin Bears played by real bears.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, all right.
And the only connection is every once in a while, one of them gives their tushy a little wipe with toilet paper. That's how you know it's them.
I feel like it loses a little bit of steam now because we just saw like the Predator fight a bear.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and Leo
Prey.
DiCaprio fought one. Yeah.
We could add in like the Affleck duck. Could be one of the
the Affleck duck versus the Geico from Geico.
yeah. Joe Camel would come in.
Versus comes out of retirement.
And they both get into a long fight, but every 2 minutes they have to stop to catch their breath because their lungs are so fucked.
They take a smoke break for 5 minutes and just talk about normal life.
That's good. The Tricks the Rabbit versus Captain Crunch. That's a duo I'd like to see fight. And every time they cut each other, they bleed cereal. That would be fun. Or maybe Captain Crunch bleeds cereal and Tricks the Rabbit bleeds milk, and eventually they realize they get along better than they get apart.
Yeah, but then they just cut each other.
Yeah,
all the
love.
time.
They become Cenobites.
Ooh.
Yeah, pleasure and pain.
Oh, maybe Captain Crunch is the original Pinhead.
I mean, Captain Crunch was delicious, and it did cut the roof of my mouth. So there was a pretty
Pleasure
good.
And pain,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
How about Mrs. Butterworth? And,
Mrs. Butterworth versus Aunt Jemima.
Yeah.
Fight.
Nice.
That would be fun. I mean, all of these sound more interesting than what we ended up with Freddy vs. Jason.
We'll see with the stab ratings. I think I disagree.
We already know. I already knew where you were falling when you recommended this movie.
All right, so back to the movie. We've got Lori, Will, Linderman, Kia, and not Jay. They're together.
Don't care. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Well, they're together trying to figure out what to do next. The movie's heating up.
Is this one the surprise cop again?
Yeah, Deputy Stubbs surprise cops them by just showing up.
Peekaboo, you're under arrest.
Basically, he informs them about Jason Voorhees and Jason's background. That he was from Camp Crystal Lake, killed a bunch of people there. He's just been killing people. We know all that. So at that time, Lori is having a nightmare about her friends wanting to sacrifice her because she's a virgin. And then Freddy shows up disguised as her dad in her dream and tries to kiss her. But she rips his ear off in the dream, and she wakes up and she's got his ear with her.
Yeah.
Throws it on the ground. It turns into maggots. But they
and
also
the cop stomps on him. Yeah. Come on, give Daddy a kiss.
Oh yeah.
Come to Daddy.
His eyes also. His eyes. His line was, "Your eyes say no, no, but your mouth says yes, yes." It's like, what? Completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that line on my wife later. Your eyes say no, no.
Just gonna kick you in the dick.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's not a great line. I'd say it's maybe that should have been cleaned up in the script a little bit more.
Yeah, same thing with the rave humper.
Yeah.
There's something else later on too that definitely needs to be cut.
Apparently, that wasn't in the script though. That was an improv.
Wait, what?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep, that's what I
we'll
read.
get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we might. Man, I don't even bring it up.
What moment was it? Wait, what was the improv movement?
Kia's line to Freddy later in the movie, where she's just
yes,
she drops an F-bomb and it's not fuck.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was shitty.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get there. So, so now they learn about Hypnosil and how it suppresses dreams. So they decide to head off to Weston Hills to steal some. At the hospital, they find a room full of people in a coma from too much Hypnosil, and we learn that Lori's dad was the doctor who did that to them.
Asshole.
We also we see that Jason is showing up as well. He's banging on the door. Now we have not Jay. He's getting high because that's just his thing, and he sees a caterpillar Freddy, who ends up smoking with him.
I love that. It was like Caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland vibes.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's the Freddy pillar.
I want a plushie of that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, a little hookah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was very imaginative. It reminded me of the worm Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, which was a penis, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to symbolize a penis. Do you think this little Freddy pillar was a penis?
I mean, what isn't a penis when you really get down to it?
That's true. Everything's a penis. It's a man's world.
Yeah.
I have.
You got it one.
I have the NECA, the toy of the Freddy penis. On my shelf.
And it's in Sorry.
Yeah, no, the spine on the back just looks like a big vein, and it's clearly a giant penis. Yeah. I think I sent a picture of you guys. I think I sent a photo of it between my legs to you guys when I got it in the map.
Yeah.
If I recall. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
it's
my background on my phone now.
The vein is explicit, but it has like a literal dick head to it.
It does,
It's got like a little rim and everything.
Yeah, it's a penis head. Yeah. It's all veiny. Yeah. It's a penis.
Well, the Freddy caterpillar is more of a chode. It's a little smaller than the Elm Street 3 Freddy penis.
There were like focus groups, and they're like, we have to make Penis Freddy more relatable to audiences. So
gotta make him smaller.
Yeah.
When he talks to a stoned guy.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So Caterpillar Freddy, he kind of jumps down the throat of Not Jay. I guess Not Jay passed out from smoking too much,
or he was dreaming, or something.
Yeah, I didn't get. Basically, Freddy takes control of his body. Yeah.
Yeah. Freddy possesses
in real life.
Him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he can do in dreams. So Jay had to been asleep.
Okay.
But yeah, so he controls Not Jay. He goes over, he grabs all the Hypnosil and starts dumping it down the drain. Deputy Stubbs and Linderman get attacked by Jason in the control room, and Stubbs is killed. Not Jay, still possessed by Freddy, fills up a needle. Two needles with basically what's the word?
Concentrated.
No, but it's like a tranquilizer.
Roofies?
Yeah.
Roofies?
Yeah, it's a roofie juice. He's got his roofie juice needles. He ends up injecting Jason in the neck with both the needles. And as soon as that happens, Jason just cuts Not Jay in half, basically at the waist.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And his body slumps kind of realistically. It was grisly. That might be my favorite kill in the movie.
I love when bodies are cut in half, when heads are cut in half, and they just kind of slide.
In Slither, there's a good body cut in half moment where it slowly slides off. Slither? You guys know that movie, right?
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Also, do you think if the Kool-Aid Man and Dr. Pepper had a movie like this, the Kool-Aid Man would have syringes of sleeping juice that he pulls out of his own head?
Sure.
Wait, who is the Kool-Aid Man fighting?
Dr. Pepper.
See, I think Kool-Aid Man should fight the Hawaiian Punch guy.
Oh, shit, that's so much better. Why did I think of that? And Hawaiian Punch kicks, ironically enough. It's so weird.
They just mix their juices together, and it's delicious.
It's so good. We start a cult. They all go to Central America.
They accidentally stumble upon Captain Morgan, and then they just have a party.
They all die, and it's just a party in hell.
Where they meet the Muppets. Yeah. Man, we got a little cinematic universe going on.
I like this movie. Every other movie we're making is better.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, so Jason is now unconscious on the floor in the hospital. Now we got our first Freddy vs. Jason fight in the dream world.
Finally.
Now, it's time to put this bad dog to sleep. For good!
Freddy has the obvious advantage here because he is a dream demon and has superpowers in the dream world. I liked some of this fight. I didn't like
too long.
Pinball Jason. That was stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb. And then he said tilt.
Yeah.
It turned into a cartoon.
It was made in 2003, and they made a reference to something that was popular in the 80s. It was dumb.
It was weird. Felt out of place.
Yeah, very much so. The fight was fun, I guess, but I do like Jason cut off Freddy's arms, and Freddy just kind of pops new ones because they're in the dream world.
Yeah, that was
he
cool.
can do whatever he wants. But yeah, so it kind of ends up with Freddy. He learns that Jason is afraid of water, which I don't really think was in Jason's backstory. I mean, I get why he's afraid.
He hunts people in the water.
Yeah.
He springs out of the water more than once in multiple movies.
That's like saying Freddy's afraid of fire. Freddy's not afraid of fire.
Well, that's what they said. They said
but they say that he is.
Fire and water. Yeah. He also has force powers in Freddy now. He's controlling metal containers with his hands, and Yeah, he's like a Jedi.
Well, in this scene, that makes sense, though. He can do anything.
I know.
In the dream world.
It was just the way they... Right, yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
way
yeah,
that
he was very much acting very Darth Vader.
Yeah, it was weird. Strange.
Well, this is... we talked about this in our episode about Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where at least Nightmare on Elm Street 3 takes his god powers in the dream world and does, like, interesting things with them. Like, he turns into a TV and eats a girl. He, like, grows to be 10 times larger than a building and, like, marionettes kids off the roof.
Yeah.
Like, he does crazy... Or that one sequence that he's showing in the beginning where he, like, pulls the tendons out of a kid's leg and makes them walk around.
Yeah.
Amazing. And in this, he uses his god powers to punch hard.
Right.
Like, do some interesting shit. I guess they just didn't want to... They weren't very creative in this movie. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
not very creative.
Yeah.
That was one of my... Not to get to, like, my interpretation, but one of my problems was, like, the excessive wire work where they would just hit each other and, like kung fu fly, like, a million feet away. Like, once in a while, that's okay, like when he threw that kid in the cornfield. But when they're fighting, they're just, like, throwing each other, like, 300 feet away. It's just a lot. Yeah, and felt out of place.
Even with Jason, he's strong. He's not that strong.
Yeah, he was like a Superman all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It felt awkward, you know.
Yeah.
Lazy. It felt lazy. Like, wires are cheaper to do than setting up, like, gore gags or whatever. At least that was my read on it. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just frustrated that they went with that rather than what the franchises kind of had set up for a decade or 2 decades at that, well, 3 at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the director, like, his original, he's from Hong Kong, and, like, he did a bunch of Hong Kong movies, I guess. So I guess that's, like, understandable why, like, that was, like, the thing at the time, using a lot of wire work, especially in, like, Hong Kong cinema. But he also did Bride of Chucky in 1988.
Oh.
So, I don't know. Yeah, it seemed like a professional wrestling type gag, and I don't know, just seemed out of place. But anyway, still fun.
Sorry, Greg.
Fuck it.
Yeah, it's fine. So during the fight with Jason afraid of water, he is reduced to child Jason, and he's crying on the ground. And Freddy goes into Jason's subconscious by sticking his glove, his knife glove, into his temple.
Yeah.
How sweet. You ugly little shit. Now there's a face only a mother could love. Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's see what really scares you. Oh. And dig a little deeper.
So yeah, now kind of Freddy and Jason are in Jason's dream at Crystal Lake.
Cool.
Meanwhile, the teens have tied up Jason and drive him in the van back to Crystal Lake. This doesn't make sense because Springwood is in Ohio, Crystal Lake is in New Jersey, there's an entire state of Pennsylvania.
That's a big state.
We live in. It's like an 8-hour drive across the state alone.
Do they?
Yeah, that's a hike.
Do they establish that it's actually in New Jersey? Like, where it was filmed in New Jersey in real life, but do they ever establish that it's in New Jersey?
It was.
I don't know. I don't know if they do. Like, I know the camp is there. Like, they do tours and shit still in Jersey. But, yeah, either way. I did like little bald baby Jason in the fetal position with his weird head, like crying.
Yeah, that was great.
Crying for his mommy.
And it was weird. It doesn't make like intuitive sense that he can read his mind by jamming a knife into his temple, but that was cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
And there's that neat like little animated sequence where you see all like the synapses in his brain firing, and I guess he can, like, what does it imply that like the current of electricity in his brain is traveling through the blade into Freddy or something? It was pretty rad. I like that part.
Friday13th.fandom.com says,
here we go.
Says Crystal Lake is a fictional small town in New Jersey featured in Friday the 13th.
All right, sweet. Okay.
There we go. So yeah, they drove across all of Pennsylvania in one night.
which you can do.
Actually, yeah. What's it, like 6 hours? Yeah.
It's probably about. It would probably be at least an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
But
okay.
they have to keep Jason sedated for this long. That will just kill him. If you just keep injecting
he can't die.
Basically horse tranquilizer.
If he can't die, does Jason sleep? Are there moments where Jason like curls up in a sleeping bag of his own? Maybe it's made out of the remnants of all the sleeping bags he's destroyed over the years.
That's true.
Little Jason dreams.
Maybe he wasn't dead at the beginning where Freddy got into his dream. Maybe he was just in a big old deep sleep.
He sleeps on the top bunk of a bunk bed. He's afraid of being close to the floor. It's just those little pet peeves.
Well, that's what his mom actually says to him. She says, "You can never die. You've just been sleeping." That's what Freddy as the mom says to her. Yeah. So.
But he was in hell.
Oh, I know.
Right,
it doesn't make any sense. But
we're reading into
Friday
this too
the
much.
13th is called Jason Goes to Hell.
I mean, that's what I tell my kids when the hamsters die. They're just sleeping.
They go to hell.
And that they go to hell.
Honey, they're just in hell. They're sleeping, but they're also in hell. It's fine.
If your hamster hadn't sinned against God, it would not have known the taste of death.
And you could say, if you showed your hamster that you love them enough, they would come back from the dead.
We would be very, if we had like a 3 dads and a kid situation, we'd be very good 3 dads.
Yeah.
I said that in a very strange way, but I stick with it.
Yeah.
We would be a very good 3
There's
dads.
3 men and a baby. It's already a movie, but we could remake it.
3 dads.
We could
3
be
dads
called
and a kid.
Yeah, 3 dads ruin Eric's kids.
You just come in separately. It's like me and my wife, and then 3 other dads. I don't know how they got involved, but that's how it is now.
It's just never questioned.
Yeah.
But it's implied that it's very sexual. Yeah.
Just
man.
dead hamsters everywhere laying out throughout the house.
All right.
We gotta get through this movie. We've been talking about this for so long.
All right. So, yeah, they're driving to Crystal Lake. So they inject Lori with some of the tranquilizer, and she ends up with...
That doesn't make sense. I know I just said we should get through this, but she's already nodding off every other scene. Why do you tranquilize her? Just let her nod off.
They need her in there long enough to get to Freddy.
And
I don't get it.
They set a little alarm. Not that that's going to help, but...
Yeah, if you're sedated, an alarm ain't waking you up.
No!
But yeah, so they knock her out, and she ends up in the dream world with Freddy and Jason at Crystal Lake. So Jason wakes up during this, and the van crashes, throwing him from both the van and the dream world. And so Freddy goes after Lori. That's fun.
She's sleeping.
Yeah. So as Linderman, Kia, and Will fight Jason in Crystal Lake in one of the cabins, Lori grabs Freddy in the dream world and pulls him out, and she wakes up, bringing him into the real world.
Bum, bum, bum.
This is
now it's a fair fight.
When the big battle begins, because Freddy's in the real world, Jason's at Crystal Lake, everyone's getting horny. This is gonna be good.
Did we have like Freddy screwing the girl at the camp?
No, I mean that happened. I didn't bring it up. I'm trying to get through the movie. But yes, that does happen.
I mean, it was funny. She's like, you're not coming, and he's like,
it's not my fault. This bitch is dead on her feet.
And then he starts flapping her arm around.
Yeah, he waves to her.
Yeah, because in the dream, Lori sees a child drowning, and no one is helping. So she goes and runs to get the counselors. It turns out that one of them is Freddy.
Yeah.
Also, I believe that was a potential storyline, was that Freddy was a counselor at Crystal Lake and molested
what?
Jason. Yeah.
Whoa!
I think that was one of the
real?
potential storylines. Yeah.
Holy crap!
And I think that got shut down pretty quickly because of how dark that is.
That's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of want to see it. I mean, not it. Like I don't want to see that scene, but that's a movie. That movie would. That's a courageous slasher film.
I feel like it's a little bit too on the nose to tie them together.
Oh man, the best art offends the senses the worst. At least that's what I think.
It's too easy. Like having Freddy molested Jason and that's why he's evil. They need to have their own separate backstory, and I think this movie did it smartly.
That's fair.
Let's just shy away from the child touch.
There's enough of it already.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so Freddy's in the real world, Jason's and they're all at Camp Crystal Lake. During the early fight, Linderman and Kia are both killed. Linderman dies by Jason. Kia confronts Freddy as he's going after Laurie and Will. This is where she just blatantly drops a offensive slur towards Freddy. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing a red and green sweater. I think it's a nice sweater. I have a Freddy sweater and I love it.
I have one too. I wear it every Halloween.
Yeah. I don't think and I don't think wearing that sweater should cause anyone to question your sexuality like he does. It's very odd, and it's very out of place.
She's just trying to offend him.
It felt like a weird scene. Like, it felt like she was improvising. I don't know. It just felt out of place.
Yeah. And so what I've read that was not in the script, that she did it, and a lot of people were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And then it stayed in the movie. So all right.
It was 2003. I feel like it wasn't. Yeah. Well, we don't have to get into the etymology of slurs, but yeah.
I get that, what she was trying to do, but he's a dream demon. He's not trying to get laid. Like, it's making fun of his sexuality and his penis size. I don't really think it's gonna necessarily bother him.
He's kind of laughing the whole time and letting her have her moment and slowly walking towards her because Jason's coming up behind her, which we can't see. Yeah. So he's just like, go ahead, say whatever you want to say. He's got a little smirk on his face. So
yeah. She makes a comment that he's got little knives and Jason's got a big old machete, and then she turns around and Jason clobbers her with a machete, sending her slamming into a tree. So yeah, Linderman and Kia are both dead now.
He also says, this is also a slur, which he says, "How sweet dark meat," and turns his attention towards her. It's just also completely unnecessary. The whole scene.
It was a callback to a previous Elm Street line where he says "how sweet fresh meat." But yeah,
feels gross. Gross.
This 2 minutes of the movie become very troublesome in 2022.
Fun to watch. Movies are a time machine. Hopefully we can be better than that.
Yeah.
It was gross.
But yeah, so they're dead.
You notice at the start of this movie, I was like, we should watch more kids die. And here I'm like, this is a bit much. This made me uncomfortable.
Oh, derogatory terms is where I draw the line. I would rather watch kids die.
I would kill a child.
All right, so yeah, a lot of our teens are now dead. We got Laurie and Will left.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, at one point, Laurie and Will could leave on a boat, but Laurie says she won't go until she sees Freddy die because she learned at some point that Freddy killed her mom and it wasn't her dad. And why Will saw her dad do it?
I
guess
cares.
Her dad, Freddy, probably took control over her dad. We've seen him do that in this movie. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Laurie has bloodlust for Freddy. So our main event fight keeps going on. Freddy attacks Jason with air canisters, and he stabs him with some rebar. He hits him with a bunch of other construction stuff.
Where was that construction site, by the way? Because it was very dangerous, clearly. A lot of shit swinging around, and there's a lot of stuff precariously, balanced on edges of things. And it's next to a campground, presumably.
It was very much like a game of Mousetrap.
Yeah.
You're right.
That was all I was thinking about in that whole sequence. Is some camper's gonna get a rebar through the face. This doesn't seem safe.
I loved when it rained rebar on Jason though. It looked so cool.
That was cool.
Good.
And it was
this whole last sequence is the movie comes alive in this whole last sequence. The whole movie should have been this.
Yeah, and we probably should have gotten to it sooner because I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly.
That's fine. That's fine.
'Cause it's getting long. So the fight eventually leads to the dock by the lake. Jason gets his fingers cut off And Freddy takes the lead in the fight now with his knife glove and Jason's machete. He's got both of them now. Freddy stabs Jason through the eyes with his glove, and he rips open his chest. Laurie, though, distracts Freddy for a second and lights, she sprays gasoline on the dock and lights it on fire. This gives Jason enough time to punch Freddy through the chest and and rip off his glove arm. So Freddy's whole arm is gone in the real world.
Just a flesh wound.
But Freddy delivers a final blow to Jason, stabbing Jason in the chest with his own machete again.
Bum, bum, bum.
Will and Laurie blow up the propane tanks by the dock, sending Freddy and Jason into the lake.
At this point, everybody's died like 5 times. Both people have died 5 times at this point.
And this camp ain't looking good.
No.
There was one cool scene. There was just like a container full of propane tanks. And Freddy's just like knocking off the top of the propane tanks with his gloves and shooting the tanks like missiles towards Jason. And he's missing them a lot. But one just nails him and throws him like 300 feet. And they do that freaking wire work again. But the tanks flying at him were kind of cool.
That's rad.
Good little sequence. Yeah.
I have that in my notes too. As a good one.
So our teens are recovering on the burning dock when we hear footsteps and see a machete walking, like a man carrying a machete walking towards them.
I mean, who thought it was Jason?
I thought it was Jason.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jason.
But
set it up.
Turns out it's one-armed Freddy with the machete. I
want to order that at the TGI Fridays. Can I get the Freddy with the machete?
As he goes to kill them, Jason comes up from behind and stabs Freddy through the chest with Freddy's own gloved arm.
Woohoo!
Jason then falls into the water. Laurie grabs the machete that Freddy has now dropped, says, "Welcome to my world, bitch."
Yes.
And cuts off Freddy's head.
Awesome.
Welcome to my world, bitch!
Freddy's body falls into the water, and we see his head floating in the water like the fish in Jaws 3D.
Boom.
Yep.
We now see Jason slowly sink down below the water, and Laurie tosses his machete in with him.
Keep that shit. That's a high-value prop. You can get a lot of money for that on eBay. Yeah.
For real.
Sell that to Zach Baggins to put in his museum of serial killer paraphernalia. Sorry, did I throw you off my Zach Baggins reference?
Zach Baggins, like Mystic Museum. What is it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
We need to go. I'd like to go.
I want to go to that too. Let's road trip. That'd be a fun Stabby Stabby road trip. Stabby on the road. We're talking about real killers. Sorry, I'm making up a theme song already.
Hey, I love it. So now Will, Laurie, and Zach Baggins limp off into the darkness. Zach Baggins isn't there. I just made the joke because I thought it was cute. So now we cut to the morning. Over the lake, fog rolling over. Jason emerges from the water, carrying Freddy's head in his hands. As he walks by, Freddy's eyes turn to the camera. He winks, and we hear him laugh, and we get our as we cut to credits.
Cut to new metal. All right.
I'm so sad. My mom and dad hate me.
I am not turning my music down.
Hey, that was Jason.
2003's Freddy vs. Jason.
We did it.
Slasher versus what is it? Mono machete.
Mono machete?
Mono machete?
Oh.
All right. Why don't we take that machete and just jam it into this movie? Let's stab it. I want to stab this movie.
Let's do it.
Stab, 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 stab.
Time for the ratings.
So here on Stabby Stabby, we like to rate our movies 1 to 10 stabs. 1 being, I think, just a burned up dead body.
Oh God!
That's filmed for an hour and a half, and
just like a snuff film, like the end of a snuff film?
1 being a snuff film, which we don't condone here on Stabby Stabby. Don't make real murder movies. And 10, I don't know, maybe being Freddy vs. Jason. We'll see.
What?
Who Who knows? How about we start with Eric? Eric, how many stabs are you giving 2003's Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I like my half stabs, right? I'm gonna go 6.5 on this. It was problematic in areas. There's the professional wrestling aspect was a lot for me. Like, there was just a lot of that. We didn't talk a lot about it, but the way they fought, like Freddy would like elbow him and jump in the air, and it was very cartoony. The wire work was a lot. The new metal was not my favorite. The digital effects do not hold up, but Robert Englund seems like he is loving life in this movie, and it shows. Like, he's back in the Freddy character, and he is just like eating up the scenery, and I loved seeing him in it. Some really cool inventive kills. It kicks in towards the end, and it gets super fun once it's actually Freddy and Jason like beating the shit out of each other, and it's not the freaking whiny teenagers just getting into trouble. Freddy Pillar is fantastic. The Caterpillar Freddy, the dad who has his head sliced in half, but the son shakes his arm and his head slowly slides off and spurts blood. It's fantastic. So some cool kills. Would have liked to seen Kane Hodder in the Jason role, but that's okay.
Yep.
Just my preference, but I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a product of its time in the early 2000s. Like, this was originally pitched in '87, like when it was like, this was the jam. Like, I feel like it would have been more impactful and effective if it came out when these characters were in their prime. But it's still super fucking fun. I did like it a lot, but I just think that early 2000s things rubs me the wrong way a little bit for some reason. So anyway, 6.5 for Freddy vs. Jason for me. Dan, what did you think?
Me, I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. It's gonna be a 5 from me. I've said this before, where I can see a movie and not like it, and that's fine. I can like it, that's fine. But when a movie frustrates me, that's where I get that's when it starts to ruffle my feathers a little bit. If I'm frustrated, like this movie has so much potential on paper, and we already talked a lot about this, so I'm not going to go on, but it just lacked so much imagination. There was so much they could have done with this, and they didn't, and that really frustrated me. So yeah, like you said, Eric, the 30 minutes at the end they get all the 5 stars. The 60 minutes it takes us to get to those 30 minutes just felt like 2 hours. It took so long to get to that last fight scene. So honestly, if they had, what was the movie with the Native American tribe who was fighting back against the people who were starting to encroach on their fishing territory? When the fishmen come and start attacking everybody. What was that movie called?
Oh, it was the Corman movie we just watched. Humanoids from the Deep?
Yes, Humanoids from the Deep. What is it's the inversion of this movie, where Humanoids from the Deep, the creatures didn't really do a lot during the movie, and most of the drama was, in my opinion, really successful. Like, the human component was really successful and held on its own, as it could have been a drama film in its own right. But then they add in the spice of, fish people. And that was awesome. This movie needed that compelling human drama in the first 60 minutes of it. Mm-hmm. And they just didn't flesh that out. It was just a lot of story beats that they felt like they had to hit, and they weren't creative when they were hitting them. And that really frustrated me. But yeah, the last 30 minutes were great. So 5 out of 10 from me. What do you think, Greg?
You know me, I'm going to go ahead and give this 9 stabs.
Hey!
Nice.
It loses 1 stab for not having Kane Hodder. Like, Ken Krueger is his name, who played Jason. Mm-hmm. I think he did a great job.
Yeah,
he was a very imposing Jason. But I think Kane Hodder earned the right to do it.
Same.
Robert Englund was a dream in this movie. He was he was fun. He had a good time. Whether he actually had a good time filming it or not, he put a lot into the movie. I didn't hate the human characters that we were trying following and supposed to care about. I cared for them to die, but that's fine by me. The plot that they used for this movie, the way they got Freddy and Jason together, I think it was actually pretty smart of Freddy using Jason and Jason just being a murdering brute. It worked. I would have liked to have seen maybe some more connection to the individual franchises, like having a character come back from Elm Street and maybe like Friday the 13th, just having something like that, and they really didn't do that at all. They implied a lot of characters in like Elm Street's history that never like happened in the movies. Hypnosil was like the only thing that connected it. It did seem like a movie that was burdened by two separate film companies trying to put this movie out. You couldn't have a winner because they weren't going to let their character lose. So that there was a little bit of a letdown that either they both didn't die or one of them died, but they both came back at the end. So a little bit of a letdown, but man, I had so much fun with this this movie. I think all the cheesiness is great. I love the new metal. I had like 17 copies of the Spawn soundtrack on CD growing up.
17 copies.
I definitely had 2 individual copies of the CD. But yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's just great. But this will be a movie I return to because yeah, I love dumb shit, you know that. So yeah, so this is 9 stabs from me.
Awesome.
Bravo. You know who else I would give 9 stabs? Anybody that's listened this long. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you guys. And like we always say, if you know anybody else that would enjoy listening to weirdos talking about weird movies, please pass this along. All the people that listen, it's been via word of mouth, and we really appreciate it. It means a lot. This whole thing started as kind of an experiment, like a book club, where we would assign weird movies to each other to watch, and we'd get together and chat about them over a beer. So if you want to join with us in the true nature of our experiment here, and watch the movies before we spoil the whole thing, which is always more fun, Greg, is there a way that people can learn about what we're going to watch before we spoil the whole goddamn thing?
Well, they're going to need to come on into my world, bitch, and follow us on Instagram at StabbyPod, StabbyPod, where every Wednesday we'll announce the next movie that we're going to watch, and the new episode comes out on Monday. So you have 5 big villain fighting days to find the movie and watch the movie. Yeah, like Dan said, before we spoil it for you, come Monday morning. So follow us and let us know what you want to watch, what want us to watch. You can watch whatever you want, but if you have a movie that you want us to watch, let us know. Send us a message or a comment on something. Sellout October, we only got 1 more week to go, so we're gonna need a lot more garbage to put in our faces. So let us know.
And Eric, what do we like to say at the end of every episode of Stabby Stabby?
Oh, we like to say, look through your cabinets, look through your drawers, find a machete. Find a machete. Make sure it's sharp. Get that sharpened up. If you've got a glove with 4 fingers for knives, get that out, sharpen that up. You can put either like a little fedora type hat on or a hockey mask, and gather your friends together. Just find one of them, or multiple ones, and we like to say, don't forget to stab your friends.